Welcome back to Pete's Dugout. This is episode number 17 of my FIFA 23 career mode with Coventry City, and so much to catch you up on. So I had to take a little break from uploading as I started a new job recently, which I'm really enjoying so far, to be fair. And I also found out that I need to extend the dugout. Yes, me and my partner are welcoming a baby into the world in November, which is obviously really exciting stuff, but also left me with very little time to play and edit, but I am back. I have gained quite a few subscribers since my last video and had some really nice comments as well, so just wanted to take the time to say thank you so much for all of the support. But that's enough about me, so let's get back on track with the football. And the Sky Blues almost did it, didn't they? So yeah, I haven't posted or uploaded since, but Sky Blues unfortunately came up short on penalties in what was a really entertaining game against Luton. Loved the build-up play for the Coventry goal between Gyökeres and Hamer, and it was a real shame to see Gustavo going off injured. But congratulations to Luton Town, who will now play Premier League football. And I promise not to mention their stadium because everyone in their ANSI has already done that. One thing I'm sure we can all agree on, though, is that it was great to hear that Tom Lockyer's doing okay now. Always looks scary when players go down like that, especially after we've had some really awful situations on the pitch recently. Obviously, Christian Eriksen at the Euros in 2020. And if you think back, Fabrice Muamba as well, back in 2012. The one player I did want to just highlight, and I'm sure you've all heard the story by now, but to me it was incredible, so I had to mention it, was Mpanzo, who has now been with Luton all the way from National League to the Premier League. And how incredible is that? If that's not an inspirational story in football, then I don't know what is. So, as I mentioned, it's Coventry who came up short after Dabo's penalty miss. And he's now been released as well. I'm sure it had nothing to do with the penalty, but even so, they can honestly be so proud of the season they've had, Coventry. You know, having that many setbacks through injury, battling off the pitch distractions with ownership and stadium issues. It's really impressive. It does look as though Gyökeres might be on his way out this summer, but fingers crossed they can get a decent sum for him and rebuild around players like O'Hare, Sheaf and Hamer, and really push towards next season and hopefully get back to the top flight. One thing I will say though is that the Championship looks really, really strong next year. You've got obviously Leicester, Leeds and Southampton coming down, and the likes of Middlesbrough, obviously Coventry, Sunderland, Blackburn, Watford, the list goes on. It's going to be a really tough year, but it does mean that the Championship will be really, really entertaining next year as well. So the more games that you can get to, the more games you can watch on Sky or on the internet, however you watch the games, I think it'll be a really good watch next year. So if you're not into the Championship, you tend to watch, the Premier League or whether it's a European League, take some time out, watch a couple of games of the Championship, maybe even the Sky Blues, and I promise you'll really enjoy it. Also, the transfer window is back open already. It feels like we've only just said goodbye to this season, but yeah, the transfer window is back open and we've already had some fireworks. So obviously, we've seen all over the news the last couple of days that Jude Bellingham's joining Real Madrid, which is crazy when you think of obviously where he's come from with Birmingham, retiring the shirt and all that. McAllister is joining Liverpool from Brighton, which was an absolute bargain. I think they were quoting sort of 70 million in the press at the towards the end of the year, I should say, and for him to be signing for 35 million, was it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is absolutely crazy. Yuri Tielemans going to Villa on a free, which is such a good bit of business for them, especially as they'll be embarking on a European journey next year. Amazing that what Unai Emery's done with Villa. Cannot praise him enough. But I really feel like the transfer window is going to hit different this summer, I really do. So many teams need to improve their squads after last year, and there's Premier League proven players that have just got relegated, like James Maddison, Harvey Barnes, James Ward-Prowse, Romeo Lavia and Nonto from Leeds as well. Loads and loads of teams, whether it's from the top six or down towards the bottom, teams are really going to be looking to improve. So I think this summer is going to be a real big hitter for the transfer window. But we pick things up following a convincing 4-1 victory against 21st place Wigan, who actually tied the game at 1-1 before we pulled away in the second half. We now sit top of the table with 2 games in hand over second place Watford and a 2-point advantage in our favour as well. Looking good for promotion, and we actually have a chance to confirm our place in the Premier League in today's episode if results go our way. So up next we take on 8th place Burnley, who are struggling this season by their own standards, and we took the early lead just before the 10-minute mark as Tavsan beats Peacock Fowl at his near post, but Burnley did hit back through Nathan Teller, and it was 1-1 as we headed in for the half-time team talk. So we rejoined the action after a back and forth first half, looking to make a quick start, and we would do so as well. Tavsan takes a brilliant first touch, plays through to Gyökeres, and you know the rest. The big Swede sorts his feet out and smashes home to make it 2-1, and we retake the lead. So it's a brilliant start to the second half in a really important game, but just past the hour mark Burnley looked to respond. Teller dribbles past Hamer and the ball makes its way through to Dervisoglu, our defence looking like Swiss cheese, and it's in the back of the net, 2-2. Really disappointing goal to concede after going ahead twice, but there was still time to make amends as Allen quickly comes on for the departing Chief. With 20 minutes to go, Rose took himself on an adventure down the right wing. He picks up Gyökeres brilliantly, but he tries the cutback instead of going for goal. Infuriating moment for the fans. But with minutes to go, we had ourselves another chance. This time down the left with Bidwell. Hamer tries the snapshot, which is deflected. Tavsan retrieves the ball and plays in Thomas. He finds Vic, who tries to poke it home, and Peacock Farrell makes a brilliant reaction save. Tips it round the post, and Burnley hang on to a point at home as this one finishes all square. So it's a game in hand wasted and made even worse by the fact that Kim Dae-won has picked up his second big injury of the season, and he is now out for the rest of the campaign with a broken toe. That's a hammer blow because I was convinced that it was just a 5-day bruise when it happened. But no time to complain though, because 3 days later and it's time to take on West Brom, who are currently in 5th place, looking to hang on to a playoff place. So Papega gets a rear nod at left wing with Kim out again, and I had to rotate quite a lot due to fatigue, so Ginnerly, Walton and Colwill all come in. Not ideal of course, but it's the business end of the season and these things happen. So start the action then, and we made a blistering start as Hamer plays in Ginnerly and the rapid winger shoots. The ball trickles towards the line and Furlong just manages to clear the ball in dramatic fashion. The replay confirming the brilliant defending, but a positive sign nonetheless. But the game did slow down a little after that, and it wasn't until 30 minutes in when we had our next chance. Sheaf wins a big header in midfield, and the ball makes its way out to Walton. He has a look up and lifts the ball over to Hamer, who heads it past the Baggies goalkeeper, but the flag is up. It's agonisingly close and so frustrating because the pass from Walton was perfect. So the score remains 0-0, and the next chance would fall to West Brom. Wallace makes his way down the left and crosses to DK in space. Thankfully his shot is weak and Ronin is able to make a double save after parrying straight to the American. The resulting corner is played short and it looks like a training ground set piece from West Brom with intricate passing in and around the box, and my defenders looked helpless as Bartley finally plays a killer pass and West Brom are fired into the lead right on the stroke of half time. That was a really leggy end to the first half, but time to regroup now, plenty of time to get back into the game, and we do have a track record of turning games on their head. So no changes at the break, but it's West Brom who had the bit between their teeth to start the second half, and they were getting going down the left with Townsend. Once again the passing is crisp and Wallace finds himself in acres of space in the box. He squares to Phillips, who forces a point blank save from Ronin, but as Hamer tries a flick to clear the ball, we're back under pressure, and Phillips makes no mistake this time as he blasts West Brom into a 2-goal lead, and that's a disaster. Straight from kickoff we completely capitulated. Heads dropped and we conceded possession again. West Brom were lethal, they could smell blood, and Diangana, cool as you like, feeds DK, who makes it 3-0, and Coventry have been dismantled. It's an awful day at the office. You can forget about confirming promotion today after that performance, my goodness. The good news, of course, is that it's just one game, and the majority of our starters have now got some well-needed rest. The bad news, Watford are now level on points with 5 games left, but we do have a game in hand which you feel we might have to win now. Promotion still looks a certainty, of course, but we want to top the league. We want that trophy. But following on from that brutal defeat, we had a scouting update and we promoted goalkeeper Lewis Duff and striker Rory Mackey. Both look promising, especially Rory, and we will definitely keep an eye on both of them. But that's going to do it for another episode of FIFA 23 Career Mode on Pete's Dugout. Thank you all, as always, for the continued support. I'm still working on that outro, but I'll be back with another episode featuring the FA Cup semi-final very, very soon.